Okay, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Woodstock Planning Board for February 20th, 2025. And we have a quorum, a full board. We have any updates to the agenda.
Just the updated scenic overlay, but we'll address that before we leave tonight.
Okay. We have the minutes from January 30th. I'd like to make a motion to approve them as is, if everybody's in agreement. Okay. Under communications and announcements, we have a letter from Xena Woods CEA Working Group. We have an email and attachments from A. Weissman. We have an email from Xena Woods CEA Working Group. An email from Jay Hooks, Xena Development. Email from A. Asper regarding Xena Development. And an email from H. Cohen regarding Xena Development. All I can say is none of them are positive. Okay, for new business, I'd like to remind everybody that this is not a public hearing. It's open to the public, of course, but it's not a public hearing. So any questions, please save them for when we do open these cases to a public hearing. Our first sketch plan review is the Times Association, Inc. It's a wetlands watercourse permit, number 24-059. It's a sketch plan review of a wetlands and watercourse permit application to repair a dam within a private swimming reserve within the R5 zoning district located on Swimming Hole Road in Woodstock. And the representative?
Corey Robinson with Colliers Engineering.
Okay, would you please tell the planning board what you're proposing?
So what we have here is a recreational private swimming hole that's used by the Township Association. Right now, the structure's in a debilitated condition. It's a cobble dam of sorts. It's really falling over and very debilitated. So what we're proposing here is to rehabilitate the dam, do some improvements to it to safely convey the stormwater flows in an unerosive manner downstream. We're filling back in behind the embankment. We're building a new embankment at a 1-on-4 slope with earth fill to reinforce the structure, and piping the outlet from the swimming hole over 50 feet of pipe within the stream that pass the flows through the swimming hole. Right now, today, in the condition that it's in, it's unsafe and it's frequently overturned in the rain event. As frequently as once a year, this thing becomes inundated and overtops. So we're proposing some hydraulic improvements to the conditions to safely convey the flows and bring the sink back to life for the association.
It's my understanding you have DEC approval.
DEP, we have DEP permit.
DEP permit.
Yes.
Planning board members have questions?
Well, I have to admit, I have trouble understanding that.
So here, this is what it looks like.
I'm gonna see if I can put it up here. I don't know which document is it? Swim hole improvement plan?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I can share that with the public. And they can see what it is that we're talking about. This one, is it?
First page is this one.
Okay, so let me share that. Okay. It's coming. Here we go. All right, so what are we looking at when we look at this thing?
So this here's the swimming hole reservoir. This is where the water is
Where
deposited.
your hand is.
Yep. The stream comes in from this way, goes in, fills up the swimming hole, and then continues down this way.
Right.
Down ultimately to the Esopus Creek and the Reservoir. Right here is the cobble dam. It's existing. all the stuff behind it is the earth fill and some pipes that we're putting in. We're putting in a sand drain behind it. And see that comes to the dam, putting in some stone to protect the outlets from erosion, filling in the embankment here, and putting some armoring on top of the embankment. So when it goes over top, it's not erosive.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? If not, I think we can go to a public hearing.
I will email you or call you and schedule it, probably next week.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, what's the process look like? Like timeline?
Well, actually, let me poll the board. There really is no other neighbors.
I was just gonna say,
To
what's
be
the
affected.
No, it's a
Right.
complete
It says
gated
association,
community,
right?
I
yeah.
requested a waiver from the-
So,
And he requested a waiver.
yeah. So if the board agrees, I think we can wait for the
I
review.
move we waive.
Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. The board is waived for the review, so there will not be a public hearing. But I will create a resolution that has all the terms because it's a wetlands and watercourse permit for you to obtain that. And they will approve that at their next meeting, which is March 6th.
Okay.
So March 6th, you'll get the resolution from me with the terms, and then we'll do final plans, and then you'll be back with the building department to start your project.
Okay, do I need to come back on the 6th?
You do not.
Okay, so I'll be back once after that. then?
No, you don't need to come back at all. Well, unless you want to bring me final plans. Some people like to mail them.
Okay,
No, this would be, they waived it's just you and me in paperwork now.
okay,
Thank you for having great plans and working with DEP.
appreciate it. Thanks for making the process easy.
Sure, no board
We
members
rarely
want to
are
respect
accused of
this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
guys.
Okay, our next sketch plan review is the Bird Keepers LLC. Special use permit 25-0389 and SUP 25-0700. And this is a sketch plan review, a site plan review, and special use permit applications for development to site create a 17-room hotel within the HC zoning district located at 39 Mill Hill Road in Woodstock. Here's our
And I have your plans
Presenters?
available to show if you tell me which document you want to show. At the moment, I've got the plans up here.
Welcome, guys. Sorry for the yucky weather last time.
Copies of everything for the planning board.
So you email.
Okay, so you want to
So,
tell the board what you have
yeah,
proposed?
and I am the project attorney, Ron Forty. This is Solomon Latham from the engineer. Yep. Craig Leonard and Barry Price, the architect.
It's exactly what I've got on my computer, so I will put that up where people can see it, and you can just tell me which page you want to reference.
There's only two.
More than
And
two in the
there's-
packet, so.
More copies here. if you like.
I left them like this purposely.
All right, so essentially, this is a project to replace the mobile gas station that's vacant on Mill Hill Road. And with a brand new hotel, it's going to be 2.5 stories with 17 rooms, 19 parking spaces. And this is an unlisted action under secret and tweaker. And this is also in the HPO district. We have a preservation overlay district, so we'll be complying with the regulations pursuant to that district, as well as the property being to have a commercial district. And we did get a hit on the short form EAF for SHPO. We've been in touch with them. They started their review of our plans, and we'll be coordinating with them and give you their letter or once we're.
I did
completed our review.
receive the back and forth, but yes, anything you give me is great, because I just get the generic.
Yeah.
Received, didn't receive, and yeah, perfect.
We will
But I
also-
saw, thank you.
We'll provide that. The nature of it was that we're in a historic district being in downtown Woodstock. Nothing more than that. We're not adjacent to any historic buildings. We're just, we're located in a historic preservation.
And we'll just say, it's not a historic.
No, it's not. It's an eyesore. And we're going to replace it with a beautiful new building that's going to conform to the look of the rest of the town. And Barry's going to explain that to the board. Right after Solomon goes through some basics on the site plan that you have in front of you. Solomon?
So this is a 17-room hotel, which would require 17 parking spots for guests and 2 employees, so 2 parking spots for employees. We provide 19 parking spaces, so we believe that we've fulfilled that particular requirement. We stay well below the requirements in terms of the setback. We have everything set in such a way that everything fits nicely. I don't know if there's any questions in terms of the setbacks. We are above the lot requirement. We are going to change it from 2 curb cuts to a single curb cut.
Which is off of Mowers Lane.
No, Mill Hill. Mill Hill has 2 curb cuts.
I'm not knowing what I'm-
Two,
Yes.
they're gonna reduce it to
You're
one.
just gonna do one as a one
here
way
and then
going
remove
down.
That's correct.
then
I
out.
thought I saw one in the back there. Is there one in the back?
That's also an existing curb cut.
Oh,
We're
I
not
see,
changing
I
it.
see, I see.
We're,
Okay,
widening it a little bit, making that
got it.
a better curb cut, but in the front,
A little
on
hard
Mill
to
Hill,
see
there are
on
2
here.
curb cuts.
And no variance is required for the project. We're within all the bulk regulations in compliance with that.
Do you have any questions?
Board members?
Are you proposing any like fencing between like?
There's a
the front
landscape
property
plan.
and all that?
There is a landscape sketch.
And there's an
I
existing
can talk
fence.
about that. Yeah,
If you look, there's also an existing fence already.
it's an architectural set. not in this.
Oh, the architectural.
You've got
Right here.
or Melissa has it.
Is this the
Yeah, you're gonna
landscape,
wanna
the
look
one
at
I have
this.
up there, or?
That is, yeah, that
That's
you're
the
in
landscape.
That's the landscape.
Yes. Oh,
That's the different floors. And this is elevation. And that is the way it would look from the outside. more or less.
There's some renderings.
So these drawings. Okay. Do you have a preference for what I leave up here for the public?
Why don't we actually start with the floor plans? Go back to the site plan just for a sec so I can reference the lead sheet.
The red, the
Yeah,
red shading.
highlighted in red. Here, up to the right. Well, and the property behind, just to make it a slightly more interesting and, complicated shape rather than just a slab. If you go to the next now, the floor plans, you have that as a reference. Yeah. So on the lower right is a cellar, that's basically the foundation, surface area below. This isn't the right plan, this is an older plan.
That might be
This
true
has the
because the
cafe.
first one, the probably has the cafe. in it.
So the cafe's not done yet?
No cafe.
So I'll,
No retail
I'll
shop.
refer to the plans that you're looking at there.
Yeah, very,
Can you guys see it?
we adjusted, so there's a possibility that you guys do have the old plans because the new ones came after.
No, this is
Um,
right.
Okay, good.
But we didn't get.
There's the
them,
main
did we?
floor that doesn't have the cafe.
But it's okay.
Which is the ones they look for.
So
There is no cafe or
No, it's a
market,
hotel
it's just a
only. It's a
hotel.
hotel only.
Green.
Yeah.
So the basic diagram of the building is, like I said, it's this offset rectangle, and this is Mill Hill Road over here. Code requires 2 egress stairs, which are these 2 volumes that anchor the egress to all the rooms. The public kind of lobby is on the Mill Hill side at the ground floor. And then there are 5 rooms at the ground level and an elevator. These offsets provide exterior space, and I'll talk to you about the landscape plan in a minute on both sides of the building, and they also buffer and provide an opportunity for trees screening to reduce the visual bulk of the building. And then when you get up to level 2 and then level 2.5, you've got 6 rooms, basically the same floor plan. The only difference is up at this level, I've set it back a little bit to defer to the street and to add some more interest to the building volume. The other kind of challenge is, as you all know, that you're limited to 2.5 stories within the hamlet. And so the half story is defined by half of the perimeter wall needs to be basically knee wall height, half the height of the full floor. So that's what this diagram represents. It's basically a mansard roof. It's not technically a mansard roof, but that's the strategy that was utilized. I did run this by the building department in terms of their, for read on performance with the code, and he signed off on it in terms of the intent that it's consistent. So that's kind of the strategy of the building volume itself. Maybe I'll talk about the landscape plan just for a minute before I talk about the exterior. First was the intent to populate, a mix of deciduous and coniferous trees to screen the parking area with fence and with planting, so it's opaque to the neighbors. All of the rooms at the base level will have small little kind of court areas that are kind of intimate to the rooms themselves. Off of the lobby will be more of a outdoor, gathering, sitting area relative to Route 212. That'll clear. The existing service station, I think in terms of the porosity or the non-porosity of the site right now, it's a little more of 1/3 of an acre of gravel and asphalt. We're going to reduce it down to less than 1/4 of an acre, so we've got 6,000 square feet of additional porosity to the site in terms of anticipated drainage. If you go now to the
All the issues of former gas station resolved.
Yes.
Well, according to the DEC, there was no contamination from the reports that we had. There was some cleanup done.
Go to these are 2D elevations of the building itself, looking at, well, this is front. So what you're seeing basically is the lower story, a glazed storefront for the lobby, and then a pattern of windows at each floor for the hotel rooms. They're kind of offset to add some more interest rather than it just looking like a grid. The two stair elements, and I'll show you that on the rendering, are clad in a climbing vine. The problem with these stairwells is they have to be rated for 2-hour egress. To put a window in one of those windows, apart from being super expensive, the glass is super thick. It's wire glass. I know that they've been value engineered out of the project, and they just wouldn't look good in terms of the character of the building. So I'm going to wrap them, and I'm going to treat them as landscape elements to anchor the building and break up the facade. So across this band here, you can see what all the materials are. Along the base of the building, there'll be stone that will evoke, the regional kind of dry laid stone character. Climbing vine, obviously, on the stairs. The majority of the building will be wood cladding in sort of a deep gray blue is the working plan right now.
Is it gonna weather into that or it's gonna be stained?
No, it'll be stained. Yeah. It'll be stained, but the siding I tend to use has some texture to it, so you'll get the interest of the texture. And we'll generally use a semi-solid siding, so you get the character of the wood coming through, but the consistency. That's the cladding color for the windows, which is kind of a deep gray. Metal roofing in a bronze color, painted metal roofing, and then yeah, that's just an idea about the screens. So if you go to the next page, I can just show you the rendering. It's just this is looking from the hill relative to the existing. Here the offset, the facade, the main facade of the building is kind of parallel to Catskill Art adjacent. It doesn't stick out as far as the canopy does right now, so it doesn't sort of project out into the road nearly as much. We take the opportunity to plant trees in that port area again to screen the volume of the building and to punctuate. This is looking from up the street. That's the edge of Catskill Art. You can kind of see that facade there aligning with it, and the other part is set back behind there, so it reduces the volume of the building. And then this is looking back from Mowers Lane, which the stairwell there and that same offset. In terms of materials, you're seeing stone at the base of the stairs. You're seeing wood on all these facades. The stair elements will have a lattice to allow the vine to grow on it. And then the mansard, for the most part, is because it reads like a roof. It would be all standing seam that. So that'll reduce the bulk of the building. I think that's everything that I can think of just to give you an idea of what's going on.
Lighting,
Lighting is
outside
all
lighting.
shielded outside. Outside, we would mount. We would have wall mounted shielded for walkway lighting. We would have shielded floods just to keep that section of the building for security and light your way in for parking. We're going to avoid super high lighting standards, any of that stuff. And we'll have some low bollards just, for some of the concentrated circulation areas by parking. And there's images of lighting precedents on the plan.
What about signage?
Signage, we're limited to, I don't remember the numbers, but basically that's a loud size right there.
So there's nothing coming out like that.
And we just get mounted on that stone helmet as you come in. You can want that hotel blanket.
Save the rest for that.
Very 300 square foot footprint. So it's a relatively small building.
one thing we will have to do, of course, send it to CCD.
Yes, yes, of course. Yes.
Questions from the board?
I just have a question. When you originally had discussed having like a market, is that also no longer part of the
No
plan?
longer.
It's
Just
a
only
lot
Just
of
hotel.
public
Just
area.
hotel?
Just hotel. No market, no,
No food service.
No food
So People
service.
have to go to the local restaurant.
So really, it's just a hotel.
well, we're not sure if we're going to need to do that. That'll be up to you. We have 19 parking spaces. There are 17 rooms. Only one space per room is required. And we have 2 handicap spaces, at least 2 handicap. And so we have sufficient parking.
Part of the 19.
Yes.
So basically, right now with the plans, the parking that they are required by zoning is within the plan on the site.
Exactly.
Including the staff.
Yeah.
19 including the staff.
Including the staff.
Just, I just wanted to reiterate, because, good, thank you.
Well, it'll be a major change to the Woodstock landscape, so
Major
glad
improvement.
the planning board is taking a good look at it. And,
start with CCD, I can get them the plans. We'll make sure that I have all the current ones.
Yep.
And then I'll start reviewing CCD and you guys can meet with them. Bring it back after you get done with them.
Yep.
I think it's a good place to start.
Okay,
Board, good job.
thank you. What do you want? Do you want these for CCD?
I would love those for CCD. I might need a PDF of all the recent ones, but I think I have. Alright.
I'm done with that.
I know I had this, but I don't think I had that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
And also.
Okay, our next sketch plan review is Zenith Development LLC, Planning Board case 25-1237, and special use permit 25-0390, and the wetlands and watercourse permit 25-0260. Gentlemen, want to come on up?
Okay.
Okay, this is a sketch plan review of a subdivision, site plan review, and wetlands and watercourse permit applications to reconfigure lot lines, decreasing from 3 to 2 parcels, and modifications to existing sites by expanding road in the R5 zoning district located at Eastwoods Drive in Woodstock. And the rest is cut and fitter. So if you would please tell the board what you are proposing.
Sure. Just quick hello, I'm Evan, my partner Eddie, we're the principals of the project. We're happy to be here. That is our zoning attorney, he'll sort of walk us through, walking through what we're proposing. We've got civil engineer here, environmental engineer, traffic. So we're here to, we have the full team to answer any questions that come up.
Right. Good evening, Al Glad from Cuddy and Fader. So this is a fairly straightforward from a Woodstock perspective. What we're looking to do is improve the existing portion of Eastwoods Drive, which is an existing private road, to a uniform width of 20 feet, and then extend it another 1,200 to this parcel located in Ulster. Initially, we had sought to leave Eastwoods Drive as is, because it varies in width from 15 to 20 feet throughout. It's a gravel road. As the local fire inspector, he was able to grant a waiver from the New York State Fire Code, which requires a 20-foot width for fire apparatus access roads. And he said he's not going to do that once it's brought up to current standards. So that's why we're here for a site plan, wetland and watercourse, and then we're just adjusting some lot lines for subdivision approval. So that's a long way of saying encroachments on some of the wetland and the wetland buffers can't be avoided. So this was exhibit 2, attachment C.
So I was looking at my own things, but.
Okay.
What is it?
It is exhibit 2 and attachment C.
I don't see anything called that.
I think she has the actual plans.
I have all of the actual plans, so
Oh,
what
okay.
document is it?
It was the figures that were submitted as part of the wetland watercourse permit and wetland mitigation report.
This is a stormwater, so not, that's not plan set, is it in the plan set?
No, this is a separate figure.
Wetland
Yes.
figure, I got the
Yeah.
wetland figure. That's what you mean, right?
Yes.
Screen here. That right one?
Yep, perfect.
Very good.
So these are just zoomed in sections of Eastwood Drive. This is where it connects with Xena Highwoods. This is the existing entrance. So this first red part is or disturbance to the wetland buffer area, because there's a wetland just south of the road. And with the town's 100-foot buffer, it encompasses this portion. And this portion, we're looking to expand it to the north, just to make it a uniform width. Also, right here, there are limited direct impacts. There's actually only 2 that have been identified. This is one of them. This is an existing culvert that is failing underneath the road. So that is a 125 square foot direct disturbance to.
So where I'm
this
moving
buffer
the cursor, that's what you're talking about.
Correct. And then, as part of the mitigation, near the areas where there's the wetland buffer impacts, we're proposing buffer mitigation areas, which David can walk you through some of the that. And then this is the other section. This is getting closer to the end of the road, the existing road. This is the other area. You can see there's a wetland here, and the 100-foot buffer comes up around the road. And then this is the second area of direct wetland disturbance, which is another culvert, and that results in about 300 square feet of direct disturbance. And then there's about, between the two red areas that I just showed you, 20,000 square feet of buffer disturbance, or 0.46 acres. And really all that is it's the existing road, it's in the buffer area, and because we're extending it, and also we'll be resurfacing the road with gravel. I think it's like 4 inches with gravel. That's how we're arriving at that number.
Now, that's an
For the
existing
service.
culvert or a new culvert?
That is an existing culvert.
But that curved area is all new road, yeah?
Yes, the curve up is new road. So if we go back to the larger map, lost colors, but blue is existing, and then the curve up is new road, which is the.
Yeah, this is the wrong one.
Oh,
Doesn't matter, doesn't matter.
This hasn't been submitted yet, but we'll provide it for the next submission. So. We just wanted to- So, as you can see, big picture, there's a lot of wetlands to the south, but what we're doing in order to avoid any further direct impacts to them, other than the 2 existing culverts, is expanding the road to the north. Which is that thin red area that you can see here. That's the extension that will bring it to a full 20 feet. And then the new green extension is avoiding any impacts. And then I'll have David just talk about some of the mitigation.
So just to be clear, all of the wetlands impacts are along sectors of the road that already exist, but you'd be widening them.
Correct. Well, yes.
Okay.
The side of the roads that the houses that are on, so they will own the homes that are on that side of the road. Those are the homes, that's where you're expanding the road to towards those homes. It's still on your land, but those are the homes.
And how many feet is it being expanded? Approximately.
Approximately between 2 to 4 feet throughout the existing road varies, but to bring up to that minimum requirement of 20, it's approximately 2 to 4 feet throughout the.
David, what's your last name? I'm sorry.
McDougal.
What is it?
McDougal.
Hello?
MacDougal.
And you?
And Dennis Lynch
Thank you.
with MJ.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm gonna put up my. Just so people can see.
So there's 2 major issues that we have to look at. One is that the whole thing lies within the Xena Woods critical environmental area. And the other is the traffic that will be produced by the development of close to 600 acres. I know Judy has some questions regarding the Xena Woods critical environmental area protection.
Well, the concern is that any interference in that area is impacting a rather special environmental area. It's a lowlands forest of high quality. It's the reason it was created as a CEA. This does not specify any particular limits we have to put on anything, but it does require us to look with more care at what the environmental impact will be. I have particular concerns about things like amphibian, what do they call it? Migration patterns. You've got a bunch of vernal pools in the other part of the land. And you've got this wetland, and you've got some forested area that is not developed yet, apart from the houses that are owned by other people. So anything that you do, we have to look at mitigating as much as possible the impact on the biosphere, on what animals, how animals use the land, how the plants develop. The fact that it's a gravel road certainly helps some. I'm very concerned about the traffic, to be honest with you. I think that that's a serious question.
So as a result of that, I know that I've read your traffic report, but we are going to request that we have our traffic specialist take a look at the intersection. That's going to be the big question. That's the biggest impact that's going to happen to the town of Woodstock.
Yeah.
Because there's 500 acres to be developed in Woodstock, plus the 100 and something acres in town of Ulster.
Right, so we have our traffic engineer, Tom Johnson from Rosella here, so we'd be happy to just welcome.
Well, as I say, we have our own traffic consultant who we will have a look at that.
One of the things that I
Review
think needs to be said about traffic is we can't look at just the traffic of the Ulster Township area. We have to look at what that area could develop as, and we have to look at what you could do with the rest of the lands that are in Woodstock, because that is still the only way in or out. I looked at, was there any other way to build a road, and there isn't. You've basically got one way in.
Well, we could put a second road, but I don't want to get distracted by that issue. I mean, right now, we don't have any plans or intention to develop anything in Woodstock. And the traffic study that we prepared, we accounted for the ability to put single-family homes on the 4 parcels that exist in Woodstock. And then basically to provide as conservative of an analysis as possible, we basically doubled the amount of units.
Okay, so you are including the potential carrying capacity of the land in Woodstock.
As it is currently, like the parcels are currently situated. So there's 4 separate parcels, but we don't have any plans to study for the
With all
rest
due
of the-
respect, not having plans doesn't guarantee anything. If you put things in a conservation subdivision, if you put things in an easement, we would know what was going to happen with that land. But to say we're not planning just means you're not planning yet. That would be a concern.
There's no way to study. Theoretically. In any case, if at some point us or some other developer, anyone came back in the future, it would be subject to review from this board, it would be subject to the same sort of consideration, the existing development in Ulster, and then if there was some future impact from any potential development, then at the time, it would have to be that under that condition. The decision would have to be based off of that proposal.
Board members, question? I mean, I have to remind you that we are a planning board, and we're looking at building a road that's going to access some 600-700 acres of development, and that's going to enter onto the Xena Highwoods Road at some point. We know that's what's going to happen, so we have to prepare for that.
We need to look at the impact that this particular development, and the fact that once we give approval for this new road to go into Ulster, what is the impact that this new road going into Ulster is going to be doing to the rest of the CEA? Also, as it goes through that Woodstock parcel into Ulster, we're literally destroying the whole CEA, as well as the noise, the ongoing construction, and other things. So I think that it behooves us to have some kind of a conservationist, somebody come in to take a really good look at the proposals and what's going to happen there. I think that's really where we need to go at this moment and the
I
traffic.
think Judy actually has contacted,
Well,
No, I have.
Melissa
Yeah.
has, yes.
We are starting this application with a Hudsonia expert. He's a scientist. So they're gonna look at it and give us their advice. So starting with that, we're starting with Stephen Mafia, our traffic guy, and John Lyons. And then probably we'll bring on a planner.
Is the traffic study we're gonna do, is that gonna also talk about Soft Hill and Xena Road?
Well,
That
we
impact?
can definitely talk to Stephen about that, but at first, usually what we typically do is the plan, you're gonna give me the new plans, because I know you said there were a few little things that you tweaked, right?
This one is just this is a new, just.
So what
Another
we
sheet
do is,
to what we have.
we give it to our consultants. We're gonna establish escrow tonight. So we can start doing a deep dive, and your consultants are educated people, are gonna look at it and then come back to us and let us know what they think. And then we meet again. I'm thinking,
You could actually see the impacts, because you talk about taking down trees, but between the existing road and the coastline, there really aren't many. There's an existing run there.
Environmental impact is more than just taking down trees.
Oh, no, I totally, we could study whatever, I was just.
Okay, so let the experts come in, that's what they say.
so,
Yeah.
I'm thinking 10,000 to start for escrow. Okay. Just so we can hit the ground running.
Certainly have plenty to review. I mean, we provided survey reports, ship on no effect letters.
Exactly.
That no effect. Bald eagle evaluation, it hasn't been included because it came in after, but DEC should sign off for the bald eagle. So,
You know where the nest is?
yes.
There's two.
Would you repeat that last part, please? Did you say who should sign off on the bald eagle?
The DEC should sign off on August 20th. So we'll provide that with our next submission.
members, questions? Okay. We are in acceptance of your proposal
Yes.
here, and we will take it to the next step.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys. I would love it.
Now on the ground.
Just to give you a thumb drive with the entire proposal, which is like 30 pages long. The traffic study alone is like 10 pages.
Thank you. This is your 5-minute intermission. Transition. I'm gonna push them through. No, we have other business. Guys, can you move it outside so we can finish our meeting? Can you move it outside so we can finish our meeting, please?
Could you go on Sunday? Young artist? You can go to Young Artist on Sunday?
Terrible.
Okay, I'll be there. I'll be there. I love it.
Like I said. no
And
plan.
if you're staying, so I can conduct my business. Thank you, thank you. I'm planning board. They don't listen very well. You know, kids listen better.
Tanchi picked a good nice son. The Tanchi. These guys,
Yeah.
good nice son. They're like, see ya.
That's
Looks
totally,
good.
totally a gated
Looks
community.
good.
I went back and forth with DPDC on that one. All right.
We need to find out.
right, board members, I don't know if you all got the notice that,
I doubt it.
the town board is ready to make the changes to the scenic overlay laws, and they gave us a list of some changes. And I'm proposing at our next meeting that we review it.
We had done this already, and then they had pushed back from the town, from community members. So it's another one, and I sent it to you late today, because we haven't really had time to talk about it. So next meeting, I was gonna cancel, but I think we'll come in and I'll
Do
have it
that.
out here and we'll do it, okay? March 6th. Sound good, board
Yeah,
members?
let's do it.
I mean, it's just a
Let's
few
do it.
changes that
And
we've
then
all
I'll-
agreed to.
Yeah, I'll let Laura know that we're gonna handle it then, and then we'll sign off that night, or not, with
But it's
whatever.
certainly important that we get this on the books.
Yeah.
Get this
Yeah.
taken care of.
Spelling
You think what?
mistake.
Yeah.
Tell me later.
Okay, what
Oh,
else?
is that in their thing? Oh, so it's not me. Get me all Twitter.
I could not hear what you said.
Oh, there was a spelling mistake.
You wanna
Oh, a
adjourn?
spelling mistake.
Would you rather put it to the next meeting? That's all right.
That's
I didn't
perfect,
read it
yeah.
carefully.
Because you know what, we can come in and do it, and if God forbid, then you know what, we can do that resolution for Tanji, so they can move on.
All right.
That's perfect. Adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, guys.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Yeah, yeah.